Yo and hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of On the Fly with Mike and Ty.
Why are you so energetic this afternoon?
3 weeks.
Calm down.
3 weeks for national, dude. I am excited. It's coming. It feels like the momentum is building. The excitement is building for me personally. And we're going to talk a little bit about some national things today. This is totally going to be on the fly. Ty has no idea what I want to talk to him about today. So that will be, typical.
But it's usually me throwing questions your way. You're loaded with topics. I can't wait for this.
Dude, I do all the work on Bench Clear. Like, let's just let everybody know the real truth. Okay.
It's all about Mike, everybody. It's all about Mike.
How was your 4th of July, sir?
It was good. It was really good. I had a great time with the family. My son, Kai, Kai, his birthday's on July 4th. So it was a combination of lots of birthday party action and lots of firework action. We had a great time.
Nice. We are on a total firework ban, like fire hazard, like everything's so dry here and in drought that, there was fireworks happening last night, late into the night, but all the official ones were canceled.
Really?
At least we were going to be out at the ranch and decided to come home because there wasn't anything to do. But yeah. It's pretty bad down here, but that's okay. It was still a good, relaxing day. I went and saw Top Gun Maverick last night.
So good.
I heard so many mixed things. You've been positive about it. Other friends have been so negative. And I just went into it wanting to have a good time. And it totally delivered on that. Like some of the action sequences and flying, just amazing, right?
Tom Cruise is amazing. The dude just keeps producing great stuff.
The dialogue is completely cheesy. The storyline is absolutely predictable, and yet I still had a great time. So that's kind of all you want out of a movie, right?
That's it. Grab your popcorn, sit down with your kids or your wife, and just turn off the world and enjoy it. That to me is a good time, and I'm with you. It delivered.
So I am so glad that you got the black hat, red shirt memo sent out to all the Bench Clear people today for videos. I'm actually shooting 3 videos today. I've got this one, obviously. I've got a interview I'm doing with a gentleman named Kyle. I'm doing an interview with the kid that you interviewed with a couple weeks ago tomorrow.
Awesome. Nice.
And then I'm interviewing Mike Summer later for Golden Age of Cardboard. You just did an interview yourself, like literally.
I just got off one. Yep. Look at that. A combined 5 episodes between us. Man, in a matter of 5 hours.
Cranking it out. Which leads me to my first question du jour. So one thing that Ty and I have noticed is when we look at our analytics here on Bench Clear is that we get a lot of views. A lot of you guys are watching, and we greatly appreciate that. And yet it's mostly like, what is our percentage? 60 something percent is non-subscribers that view our channel, like overall. And that just seems weird. Like it should actually be flipped. It should be 60 to 70% of your views come from subscribers.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is, why aren't you subscribing? If you're watching this, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We do all kinds of great content, podcasts, market updates on the hobby, you name it. It's all here. You can just click subscribe. Why do you think people aren't subscribing, Ty?
I don't know, but I'm going to make this very easy. I'm going to put a ticker up right here. Why aren't you subscribing? Answer that question.
Honestly, if people are down below, I'd love to hear. If you're just a viewer and you haven't subscribed to it, why haven't you? I'm just curious. It's more of just.
We are genuinely very curious. Genuinely. Yeah. I think it's a combination of things, but I think probably the big one is YouTube does such a good job, even if you don't subscribe to something, at putting something they know you'll like in your feed. And I know a lot of stuff that I end up watching that I don't sub to is given to me by YouTube. So I don't subscribe to a lot of channels because I don't want to be overwhelmed with content from all these channels.
Inundated, so to speak. Yes.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of that. And I think people are smart to that. But.
And in all fairness, I'm subbed to 300 plus sports car channels. And my feed every day is overwhelmed. I can't watch it. Like I could literally sit and just hit next, and I'd never watch all the content that is put out that even I'm subscribed to. And I know I'm only subscribed to a small slice of the hobby YouTube pie,
Yeah.
so I'm not even really subscribed to a lot of the big channels that are out there. So just because, again, I don't want to get inundated with it. And if it's something that I hear about, oh, so-and-so did this video, I'll go watch it, but
yeah,
there are just certain lanes that I like to stay in my consumption of YouTube content. And so I don't know, just, we'd love to hear why.
Well,
So go ahead.
We're saying that coming off our best month ever since we started doing Bench Clear together.
True.
And we have quite a few subscribers. So we do thank you for subscribing to us, because there is a crap ton of stuff you could watch, and you still watch the stuff that we put out. And so we appreciate that.
No doubt. That is totally true. We don't ask, we don't ever go, hey, please, like, there's a lot of people that's part of their routine in making a video is, hey, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. And maybe that's our problem. Hit the like button. Mike takes it personal. I used to. I still care, I guess. You can't say you don't care. That's just a flat out lie.
For sure.
I care a lot less than I used to. That's for sure. Yeah. But where was I? See, you got me distracted with your damn little ticker thingies going across the bottom.
Not so easy to host, is it? Come on, Mike.
Golly. All right. The last couple things I want to talk about on this episode, which may take the rest of our time today, is two topics surrounding the National.
Okay.
Number one is, I'm really surprised and mildly irritated that PSA hasn't released kind of their plans, their pricing schedule, any of that stuff for the National. We're 3 weeks away today from setup day, essentially. Tomorrow, officially 3 weeks from the show starting. Why do you think PSA hasn't released anything yet?
What do you, I guess, real quick, what are you hoping they tell you?
What am I hoping they tell me? I hope they tell me it's $50 a card and you'll get them in 2 days. That's what I hope.
You're waiting for them to tell you what the price is going to be, what the turnaround is going to be, all that stuff.
Right.
That's what you're waiting for.
Yeah. I mean, they've already announced that they're going to be, there's no question they're going to be taking on-site submissions. Maybe an indicator of that is at the Long Beach show that they were just at taking submissions and doing. Now, granted, that's in their backyard, essentially, right?
Yeah.
They were $150 a card there, which honestly, if it was $150, I'd be thrilled. Because $150 to get it back in 2 or 3 days, at the show, plus you don't have to ship it, insure it, all that kind of stuff. I only have 3 cards I'm giving to them, and they would be at the 150 level based on valuation. They wouldn't be at the lowest level. And usually when they do the National deal, it'll be like, normally it might be $50 or whatever, $30 right now, up to what, $499, I think is the value. They'll do 150 up to $5,000. Like, it's a huge uptick in declared value to get that price point, which I would be at anyway on these cards. So, or really, one of them maybe not, but the rest of them for sure at the higher value. So I'd be paying 150 to send it to them. So if it's 150, I'm good with that. And to get it back, I'm happy. It was 250 last year, just for reference.
Yeah. Here's what I think they're doing. I have no inside information, obviously. I think they're waiting to see if the numbers increase, if passes increase in purchase volume, because I bet it's lower than people think for the show.
What? For attendance?
Yep.
Well, everything you hear out of NSCC show is on their Twitter feed is record ticket sales, record blah, blah, blah. Right. And then I go to Blowout and selling a pass. I'm selling my pass. I'm selling my pass. It's kind of interesting. Anybody want to buy my pass? I'm not going now because of XYZ financial reason. Right.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to be lower than expected? Than they're making it out to be, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think that, in my circle, I feel like 7 or 8 out of 10 people are like, I would have gone if it was in Chicago. I'm 100% out since it's in Atlantic City. And this and this and this. The gas is too expensive. I can't get a hotel. Flights are $5,000. Like, all of these things added up, I think just make it a really tough sell right now, unless you are a devoted attendee like you who's going to go regardless of the cost. And I think,
But the reality
PSA
is
probably has the inside information on that, obviously.
But that doesn't mean they won't grade cards. It just might determine their price point. You're saying we
Right.
got to have it at a level to justify all of the resources that we're bringing to bear. So we got to make it if we're going to get this many cards, we can make it this price. If we're going to get this many cards, we can make it a lower price, right?
Yeah.
To break. I mean, they're trying to make money, but yeah, interesting thought. Maybe that's certainly part of it. I can't discount that. I can't say no, that's not. That's a reasonable argument for
I don't know. What do you think? What's your reasoning behind it?
I think they're waiting to hear what they want to be last to market, meaning they're not going to come out with something and then SGC comes out. Well, gosh, if they're going to do it at that, we'll do it. I don't think SGC is going to end up. Nothing's official, but I don't think SGC is going to grade on site as I wear my SGC hat today. I think they're going to do a lot of what they did last year, which was really good. I mean, it's a stressful thing to take cards in and have to deal with them and all that. Yeah. And they can just come and be cheerleaders for their brand, cheerleaders for the hobby. That worked out very well for them last year.
Yeah.
What is CSG going to do? What other grading companies might show up or whatever. I think they just want to be the last ones to go, yep, we're coming in and we're going to do this. I think they might be just waiting for some other people to make their decision. Because the reality is, like, they know that guys like me, I'm taking my cards no matter what. They could tell me the day before and I'll be like, okay, I mean, I don't want that because it's annoying to plan for financially, but at the same time, it's not that like I'm going to do it no matter what. So they don't have to tell me right now. It's just annoying.
Yeah. You didn't make a good pitch for them to tell you, give you the numbers yet. That's good. I don't care. I'm bringing my cards anyway. I'll wait till the last day, but I'm really annoyed. But if your point is correct, which it could be that they're waiting to be the last decision maker, that tells me that the grading market is starting to get a little bit more. It's on equal playing field. There's a little more parity. Other graders are in the game, so to speak. And I think that is a very good thing if that is actually what PSA is doing, because that means they're not playing like a leader.
Right.
They're responding to somebody else, and that is great for a company like SGC.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think about it, if they were whatever they're gonna price it at, why should they care what everyone else does if they are the top, which they are, but do they feel like that gap is closing? And if so, yikes, I mean, I fully expect to see a lot more SGC slabs at the National this year than any time before. And so maybe they are kind of going, hey, we don't want to, like, because usually they just like, we don't care what people, we're going to price it what we're going to price it at. Everybody else do whatever you're going to do. We're not worried about it. And it could be neither of those things are correct. And they have a time that they do it. And I don't know in previous year, was it 2 weeks before they typically, I don't know, what their standard has been in the past. And therefore I'm just paying a lot more attention to it. I did submit cards last year. But anyway, I think it's an interesting thing that we haven't heard yet. And we are 21 days away from setup day. Just seems like they'd want to get ahead of that because you got to fill out forms online beforehand. If you're you want to do all that before. I don't want to have to do that in my hotel room or the business office in the hotel or whatever and printing off my forms.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
Interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you're getting to the point now where you're going to probably lose some fringe graders, some guys that were on the fence about grading. And they're now like, forget it. It's not, there's no details. I'm just going to go and wait.
Right.
It's close enough now where they need to provide some details. Real quick on SGC, since we mentioned it, I sent an order in 2 weeks ago. I standard submission, and again, we talk about SGC a lot. We've had Peter on the show.
He's a friend of the show. SGC
friend of the show. No, we have no like insider deal. Like we really don't. Like there's nothing they do for us. It's a standard submission. I got my cards received, graded, and back to me on a standard submission all within 1 week.
Wow.
Standard stinking submission. 70.
70. So not a small order.
No.
Right.
It blew my mind. I'm like, what do you have? Little elves working 24/7 in there? Like, how do you do this so fast? They have got this thing optimized so good. I'm really impressed with it, the way they run their business.
Yeah.
I say that all the time, but I really mean that. So impressive.
And again, I have nothing against, everybody thinks I do like PSA more, but it's only because I'm so heavily invested in it. Like I wear that on my sleeve. I fully admit that and am transparent about it. But I have nothing against SGC. I've started buying a few of their slabs. So I know.
Newsflash.
I got to redo the beast because it doesn't hold SGC slabs.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I mean, we literally could be imminently away from an announcement within the next week. I'm sure they have to come out with something.
Yeah.
Because then they're really cutting it too close.
They may have been waiting for us to talk about it on the fly.
What would it mean if they were probably waiting for that? What would it mean if they came out and said, we're not grading at the show?
That to me says they've taken a lesson from SGC. And they need to, it's all about brand evangelism, brand awareness. We're out there to support you. And if they came out with that message, it would probably be received well.
Yeah.
You would be annoyed because you want to grade cards. And some people would be annoyed, but like it probably suits them better to do that. Honestly, it probably suits them better to do that.
Yeah. In the long run.
Yeah.
They could keep all their graders at home working on all the backlog still, which is there's still a backlog. Like people think it's over. It's not over. It's close. Like I think they're getting down to it, but at the same time, I don't know. We will see. We don't know. I said at the beginning, I'm sure they're going to be grading cards, but what if they don't? That would just be, I think, like a holy crap moment for the hobby. At least for me. I would be like, wow, this is different.
Yeah. I don't know if it'd be a holy crap moment for the hobby, but for a small group of people that you guys would be like, what's going on here?
Okay. I am probably going to get a lot of grief in the comments for this, and I don't care.
Oh,
bring it on.
Topic number 2.
I think the National is going to be an opportunity for buyers that we haven't seen in 2 or 3 years, probably 3 years. I think it's going to be a bloodbath for sellers. I think, and which is great for me as a buyer. Not great for all the stuff I already have, but that's not, I'm in the acquisition of collection, not in the distribution of collection. So, or selling of collection. And plan to be in that mode for a long time. Given all the circumstances and things that I'm hearing from other people, Ryan from Breakout Cards or Ryan from Card Collector 2, as they're going to all these shows, all they talk about is the weird vibe that's going on in the hobby. In these show floors, dealers are, I think they're going to be fatigued from all the trading. Like, no, I just want to sell my freaking cards. That's why I have them. Like, I'm just, not that those things won't happen. I think they'll have to acquiesce a little bit if that's all they're getting offered to do.
Yeah.
But trying to unload inventory that they're upside down on, or just needing to get fresh, just, God, I've had this card for a year and a half. I'm ready to get rid of it or whatever. I think that's going to be happening a lot. What say you, Ty?
We're in the same boat. Like I've been saying this for a while now, and I just basically said the same thing a few minutes ago. It's just so stinking expensive to get there. For one, anyone that's going there to buy is their budget to buy shrunk so much to get to Atlantic City this year. I think it's going to be a total letdown. I think it's just going to be an absolute letdown for the hobby this year. And people are going to be second guessing themselves on like what the show vibe, the show culture is going forward. I think it leaves a bad taste in the hobby's mouth after Atlantic City this year. That's what I think.
I think you're on the right track. I think the National's aura of dominance of just this thing is going to diminish greatly after this show. And I hate to say that because it's one of my favorite events. Like I love going and I love the idea of it, but there are so many amazing shows now. There, uh, the competition has gotten greater. I don't have to travel to Atlantic City. I can go to Dallas or to,
Yeah.
XYZ show,
Yeah.
Chantilly, or you
Coeur
name it.
d'Alene, Idaho on Saturday, right?
Which we're gonna talk about that in a minute. That's on my list of things to talk about. So don't get ahead of yourself. But I think that the luster of, and look, it's never not going to be kind of the main event of the year, but it's not I have to go to that or else I'm missing out on some experience that I can't get somewhere else event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like even when I'm going to these regional shows or whatever, I'm seeing people I know. They come here and it's cheaper to fly to Dallas. I'll go to Dallas and hang with Mike for the weekend. Or like I'm getting to see my friends still, not all of them, in one place, like it kind of happens at the National. But if you start seeing that become less important for that reason, for just people can socially connect at other places, does it lose some of its luster? That's almost blasphemy for me to say that and agree with you on that.
Well, and
it's so wrong to say that.
Well, the thing with the National is that it sets the tone, whether we like it or not, for the shows the next year. Like last year was a high for the National. It set the tone for regional shows up to this point, and we've kind of ridden the coattails of the National experience and the vibes all the way up to this point. And I think if it doesn't hit it out of the park again, that kind of just sends that echo through the regional shows, and that will probably trickle down. But here, like to me, this cannot go like overstated. It's too expensive. There's so many distractions in Atlantic City that take away from your ability to spend money. You're going to go gamble. Other people are going to go gamble. You're going to go sports bet. You're going to go do things in Atlantic City that like your available spend disintegrates really fast. Whereas Chicago, like you're there, you might go spend some money in a restaurant, might go to a game, but like it's different. You're there for the show, 100% there for the show. I just don't think, you're from a dealer perspective, I think everyone's going to be totally just frustrated.
Yeah. From a buyer perspective, I usually like to get in and get a lot of stuff early in the show. And I don't know if I shouldn't rethink that strategy and be a little more patient. I am leaving Saturday, so I don't get to be there on Sunday when everybody's trying to fire sale everything and get the heck out of Dodge with as much as few cards and as much cash in their pocket as they can.
Yeah.
I'm taking more money than I've ever taken before to a National.
How much is that?
Huh?
How much you taking?
You want me to tell you that? You want me to say that?
Since when have we hidden stuff from our audience? What are you taking?
Okay, I'm taking 10 grand.
That's it?
That's it.
That's a lot of money. In Bitcoin, right? You're not taking that in cash.
Of course, in Bitcoin. It's going to be on my virtual wallet that I can just transfer 0.08 Bitcoin for a 1982 Topps,
That's 0.5 Bitcoin now. That's how crazy. I would love to see you set up a virtual wallet. That to me would be, I would go to the National just to see you set up a virtual wallet.
Not going to do it. I don't even know what you just said there. That was Greek to me, like virtual wallet. No. Yeah, I mean, but I'm not just going to spend that to spend it. Right. Yeah. But I'm not going, I've got to spend all of this, but I am going to go in ready to go. I mean, and people, that's a lot of money. I've seen people walking around with hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash in their backpacks. So
jeez,
it's not like there's going to be way bigger whales in the room than me. Yeah. But for me, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And it's, to me, an opportunity to maybe get some cool stuff. So it wouldn't shock me if I came back with cash, honestly, at the end of Saturday when I leave. So anyway, I just think it's going to be very, very different. And I've never been to a National in Atlantic City. I'm excited to do videos from there and kind of see what the vibe is and all of that stuff. But I think that what the key here and what we're hinting around a lot is the differentiation of the National from all other shows is shrinking. right?
Mhm.
Their differentiator is less attractive. Okay, so Tops is there, big whoop. I mean, or all the corporate. Dallas has shown that you don't need that to run a great show. In fact,
Yeah.
it might be better to not have it because it's just a distraction and
Yeah.
clogs up all the aisles with just people standing in line to get 3-year-old redemptions taken
Yeah.
care of. You know, uh, it'll be interesting. Their differentiators are getting lower or less and less every time there's another great show somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And if Burbank Cards has their way and they start running a show in LA, a big show in LA, which is I've heard kind of on the horizons here, where they're going to sponsor it and kind of promote it and all that. Holy moly, watch out.
For
They're,
sure.
I mean, why would any West Coaster go all the way to Atlantic City when they can get maybe better stuff even
Yeah.
driving down the interstate, you know?
I totally agree. And you got Pacific Northwest having, us up here running the Bench Clear show, which is not really a Bench Clear show, but Montana, Idaho, Washington, you got a show right here, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So I guess if that's truly the case, how does that change the way you negotiate cards then? I mean, obviously you can wait. There's a little pain because they're not selling stuff, and that's one way. But like you go in day one, and as much as we hate it, we say, hey, the comps are this, and this is what I'm offering. How does your mindset shift knowing that it could be a bloodbath for some of these dealers?
It honestly, I don't change my tactic ever. I look at sticker price, I look at comps on a card, and I'm going to offer below comps.
How much below?
And usually 10 to 20%. And it starts it from there. First of all, I will never pay sticker. I'll just walk away. And if I have to pay closer to comps, if it's a card I really want, like I have a hit list here of about 12 cards that I'm really targeting. If I find those, great. I have 900 plus items that I'm looking for. So like on my kind of ultimate want list. So there's plenty of stuff for me to find if I can't make a deal with some guy that's, being hard ass about his price. Okay, I'll go to the next one. I got plenty of stuff to look for, so my tactic doesn't change anytime ever at a show. I'm not willing to overpay. There's not anything that I need that's super rare and super crazy that I just won't ever see it again. That's just not my collection. Some people it is, and they'll see something that they'll never see again and they buy it no matter what the price because they want it. That's not what I buy. I buy stuff that's pretty common, that's out there. And so, which is fine. Like either way is good. It's not either one is better or worse. They're just two different ways of attacking it. Should my tactic be different? Should I do something different? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
We broke up there for a second. Should my tactic be different, Ty, is what I was saying. Do you think I should do something?
Well, if you really believe what you say and you think it's going to be really hard for the dealers, then I think it obviously should be different. But I don't think on day one anyone feels it. Like your strategy on day one is obviously going to be a day one strategy regardless. But come day two or day three, I mean, asking 15, 20% off of sticker, I mean, that's what you do regardless. I mean, 30, 40% is probably in play.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the way I would look at it, but I'm not the type of buyer that I'm looking at it for margins to potentially resell. Very little goes right back into my collection. It's very small piece of the PC. You're looking at it going to your PC. So like it's done. It's going into the vault. So yeah,
but given those two perspectives, that will change how you talk about it. Like I'll pay more than you will probably.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Because it's PC, which I've never understood PC. I joke about this all the time. It's going into my collection. It's also my personal, like, what's the difference? Like, isn't every collection a personal collection? Like, I don't know. It just makes me laugh. Why do we say P? It's just going into my collection. We should get rid of personal off
going
that.
into your C. What do you see?
Into my C. So, but we would have different angles with that with a dealer, and which might give me a slight advantage in buying a certain card versus somebody that is looking to make a profit on it. They're going to need to get it at a bigger discount than I will. But I'm still not going to I'm just unwilling to. I've been doing this 40 years. It ain't like I'm impatient. It'll come back again. It won't be the only opportunity.
Yeah. So I was just on the interview I was on before this was a follow-up interview to with Bo, 1 Million Cubs. Great interview we had 4 months ago. And he's been going to shows, basically every week or every other week. And he mentioned that the trend he's seeing is a really clear shift from buyers wanting slabs to buyers now wanting exclusively raw. And they aren't even negotiating much on raw. It's very much like, can I package a bunch of raw cards together? I don't even want to deal with the slabs. There's just too many slabs out there right now, which I thought was really interesting. It's kind of like the slab fatigue that we've been talking about has trickled its way into shows now, and people don't even want to touch slabs, which is crazy. He's seeing $5 slab boxes every show he goes to. $5 slabs of current rookies.
Yeah.
That's how overwhelmed the market is with slabs.
We called that long time ago.
Yeah.
That's not new. That's not news to us. It's news about, I think it's interesting. Back in the day, I sound like an old man. 4 or 5 years ago, you go to a national and you could find $5 slabs, $10 slabs, and that almost didn't feel like a good deal because it costs $7, $8, $12 to get a slab done. So it's not like now at $30 at the best, $50 at the worst, if you were buying then, selling at $5, you're taking a loss for your cost of that card if it was recently slabbed, right, in the last year. And so it's interesting that dealers are just, all right, I'm just going to take an L on this Gavin Lux rookie or whoever, right?
Yeah.
I always use Gavin Lux just because that's a card that I thought was slabbed so much and stupidly. Like, what? Why?
Yeah. He's having a good year, by the way.
So he is, but he still doesn't justify 50,000 of his rookie cards being slabbed or whatever. I don't even know what his pop count is, but it's high. It's stupid high. Okay, we're about out of time. I do want you to mention the Coeur d'Alene show.
Yeah, so
Can you hear me?
It's yeah. So there is a Coeur d'Alene show. If anyone's in Spokane or Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or anywhere, in the upper Pac Northwest, Saturday, July 9th, this Saturday, we're hosting a show. We're co-hosting. I'm just helping another guy run the show. And so I'll have a booth up there. I'll mainly be walking around, just talking to people, making sure everyone feels good. There is 40 tables sold now. There'll probably be 10 more sold by Saturday. So about 50 tables show, which is crazy in this area. We'll see. It's going to be fun. I'm actually thinking about taking the whole Ryan approach and going live on Bench Clear and just walking around trying to get deals for some people, just having some fun. So since I can do whatever I want, I'm co-hosting. So what do you think about that?
I think that's I love it. We may have started a new trend where guys go live at shows for people and try to make deals for people for a small commission,
Show concierge.
Since we did.
I dig it.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. Well, I did actually on Baseball Collector. A video is up right now. Came up today. I shot it last night, talking about my plans for the National, how I'm preparing for it, all that kind of stuff. So that's over on Baseball Collector. I'm interviewing Mike Summer from Wax Pack Hero podcast. He's going to be on Golden Age this week. I'm doing an interview tomorrow for next week's Golden Age with Craig, who is the dealer that I interviewed before, and talking to him about his national plans, because by then we'll be a couple of weeks out by the time that airs. So that'll be great, his perspective as a dealer. And I can ask him a lot of these questions that we're wondering how dealers are going to think, right? We're kind of like, what are dealers? What's the feel of the dealers? And I'm going to ask him some of those pointed questions, like, how important is it to you to make your money back as quick as you like? At what point of the week do you start going, oh crap, I need to start slashing prices because I need to make some sales? And I don't know what his answers will be. That'll be interesting to go through. So I've got a lot of fun content coming out over the next couple of weeks.
Beautiful. That will be a fun interview. I'll be really curious to hear what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you'll ask the right questions too, which will be good.
Well, again, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, like we said at the beginning, subscribe down below, and we will catch you guys on the next On the Fly. See you, Ty.
See you, Mike.